The All-Star game was fun, which is just about as controversial as saying, I don't know, The Dark Knight is a good movie. Like, it's pretty apparent to anyone who has a brain and two eyes that the MLB All-Star game is infinitely better and more fun than the other major sports that are just a total joke when it comes to this. The NFL Pro Bowl was so bad that they replaced it with a flag football game. The NBA All-Star game is a bunch of dudes acting like defense just doesn't exist. And look, I get it. You don't want to get hurt in a meaningless game, so it just results in a complete joke. Even the dunk contest, like, to me is kind of stupid. Like, how many ways can you dunk a basketball that's cool? Especially when nobody is guarding you, which is part of what makes a dunk cool to begin with. And the home run derby and swing off, which we'll get into, is a much better version of that. Although, in my opinion, the home run derby is infinitely more fun in person than on TV. On TV, it's fun, but it can get a little old quick at certain moments. I saw a lot of people critiquing the rapid fire pace of it now with the timer, which I get. But either way, the All-Star game, has always been what I'm most excited about. To watch the best of the best players in the world face each other. And even though it is a meaningless game, you still see a competitive one, because unlike basketball or football, you have to try for the game to actually happen, if that makes sense. Like, in basketball or football, you can play it easy on defense. In baseball, if a ball is hit to you, what are you going to do? Not field it? Now, you may not dive for balls you would dive for otherwise, but you still mostly have to play the game. Pitchers will still throw as hard as they can. They're not going to just groove any pitches in there. And as a hitter, you still have to swing the bat. Like, just the way the sport works, even if there's no urgency from the players, since the game doesn't matter, it'll still be competitive, because baseball just is a game where it just is that way. And this game was competitive. Right away, it was so clear how much more talented the National League lineup was over the American League lineup. The AL had a lot more non-stars having good seasons, while the National League had actual stars having good seasons. No disrespect to Gleyber Torres or Riley Green. They've been awesome, but I mean, compare that to Shohei Ohtani and Ronald Acuna Jr. leading off in the bottom of the inning. And already, it's like, wow. Then Ketel Marte comes up and knocks both those guys in. Someone should make a shirt that says milk, and on the bottom it says, "Man, I love Ketel." You're welcome. I get 20% commission. Speaking of milk, Brett Rooker literally had to defend himself for giving his baby milk during the home run derby. That's where we're at, people. I mean, this is the exact reason I stay off social media as much as I can, especially Twitter. The brain dead energy on that app cannot be good to constantly feed your brain. At least not mine. I plan on not doing it that much. Clayton Kershaw coming in was a highlight for sure. That was awesome. Him talking to the broadcast, making fun of himself. He threw a first pitch to Vladdy Jr. for a strike and went. He ends up striking Vladdy out and gets taken out, so what will probably be his final All-Star game ends that way. A lot of people are calling Kershaw's All-Star roster spot a DEI product. He only got in because of a quote-unquote legend pick that was done by Rob Manfred. And I have a little hunch that a lot of those people were Padres and Giants fans, so it's really funny that two Padres pitchers and two Giants pitchers combined to give up 5 runs. The National League offense wasn't playing, at least at first they weren't. They're up 2-0, then Pete Alonso deposits a ball into the right field stands. It's 5-0. Corbin Carroll then hits a bomb, but down 6-0, the American League went to work. Brett Rooker, who got knocked out of the home run derby because of an inch, smacks a 3-run homer off Randy Rodriguez, who's been very good this year. So bam, one swing, 6-0 deficit is cut in half, and the Royals started making up for their pitcher giving up that 3-run homer to Alonso. Maikel Garcia walks, steals second, goes to third as the ball is thrown away, and Bobby Witt Jr. soon drives him home. There were some very cool things that happened in the middle of innings too. Obviously, as MLB always does, the stand up to cancer moment. Jacob Wilson, a rookie and starting shortstop for the All-Star game, was mic'd up with his dad for an inning. That's awesome. There was also a nice Hank Aaron tribute. Very cool. Great job by everyone all around for making that happen. Eugenio Suarez got hit in the hand, but thankfully he's okay. He even made a great defensive play soon after that to start the 9th before the AL started getting things going again. Byron Buxton hit a double. Bobby does the same thing. Edwin Diaz comes in to try and get the final 2 outs and does, but not before the tying run scores. Steven Kwan comes up, a good old classic battle at the plate, puts the ball in play, and good things happen. Tie game, Randy Arozarena strikes out in an overturned strike call. That was pretty funny. They were doing the abs thing for this game. 9th inning, in comes Aroldis Chapman, and he just mows through. Schwarber, soft line out. Tatis can't do nothing. Brendan Donovan hits the most foul fair ball ever, out number 3, and the game ends tied. But there's something new this year. Instead of just having the game end in a tie, we're going to have a swing off. Now, I actually had no clue this was going to happen until the end of the game when they announced it. And it may be one of the goofiest things I've ever seen. I was watching this game with my uncle, and I'm willing to bet money nobody hated this more than he did. He thought it was the dumbest thing ever, and I didn't hate it as much as he did. I actually don't think I hated it at all, because, like, what would you rather do? End the game in a tie? That's what my uncle would have preferred. But, I mean, you obviously can't go into extra innings. It's a meaningless game, so why not do something extra for the fans to decide the game? But then again, it doesn't actually decide the game. The game was the game. It ended in 9 innings, tied at 6. The swing off, that's another game in itself. And it's also just another version of the home run derby, which is what we saw for 2 hours the night before. I also found the name silly. A swing off? What about a throw off? Again, we saw a bunch of guys hit batting practice pitches for 2 hours on Monday. How about we get a bunch of players on each side, and whoever hits the target the most wins? They try and throw and hit a target, whether it's at first base or home plate or whatever. I love how the stadium worker didn't even bother to keep the bullpen door closed. How about a runoff? You get the fastest players on each team race around the bases, or better yet, the slowest players on each team race each other. That'd be funny. A swing off, a throw off, run off. What about a jerk off when we all just go home? Half the teams did anyway. A lot of players on both sides had already left the stadium by the time this started, including Ohtani and Judge, who people would have rather saw in something like this. Honest to God, you know what I would have done? I told my uncle this in the moment. Instead of a swing off or whatever, you know, today everyone's always looking for a viral moment nowadays, something that people go crazy over on TikTok. They should have had Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge meet on the mound and play rock, paper, scissors, shoot, best 2 out of 3 wins. Would that not have gone crazy? I genuinely think that would have gone crazier than the swing off. But the bottom line is, whatever game they did, it doesn't actually decide who won the game. And Kyle Schwarber winning the All-Star game MVP because he hit 3 batting practice home runs after the game is very stupid. Like, shout out Schwarber. Good for him, but like, you can't tell me that's not a joke. He won All-Star Game MVP because of something he did in a separate game that had nothing to do with the actual game. None of it is that deep. None of it really matters anyway. The most important thing to come out of this game was Eugenio Suarez's wrist being okay after getting hit. That's literally all that matters. And again, I didn't even hate the swing off. It was just the fact that I had fun watching it for how dumb it was rather than how fun it was, if that makes sense. It was like watching a really bad movie that's so bad you have to see it. Maybe it was awesome to you, though. Maybe you actually want this in meaningful games instead of extra innings. An opinion that I would say warrants prison, but hey, let me know your thoughts and thank you for watching. Love you. Bye.